The ocean, a place of beauty and wonder, a realm teeming with life. But all is not well beneath the waves. A war rages, a conflict escalating at a terrifying rate. Marine life is in turmoil as the crabfish war intensifies, threatening the delicate balance of the ecosystem. What began as territorial skirmishes has spiraled into all-out conflict. The reason? Resources. As ocean temperatures rise and pollution spreads, food and shelter become scarce. Competition turns to aggression, and aggression to war. The origins of the crabfish war are shrouded in the mists of time. Some marine biologists speculate that it began over prime feeding grounds. Others believe it was a dispute over desirable crevices in the reef. Whatever the cause, the conflict has raged for years, with neither side gaining a decisive advantage. Fish, agile and swift, rely on their speed and maneuverability. Crabs, heavily armored and armed with powerful claws, depend on brute strength and strategic cunning. The conflict has led to the evolution of new and deadly adaptations. Fish sport sharper teeth and venomous spines, while crabs boast larger claws and tougher exoskeletons. In a dramatic turn of events, the lobsters have joined the fray. Once content to remain neutral, these formidable crustaceans have forged an alliance with their crab cousins. The reason for this unexpected pact? Survival. Lobsters, with their crushing claws and armored bodies, are a force to be reckoned with. Their addition to the conflict has tipped the scales in favor of the crabs. The combined might of these armored warriors has pushed the fish to the brink of defeat. The crabfish war, however, is not a victory for anyone. The relentless fighting has devastated the once thriving coral reefs. These vibrant ecosystems, crucial for the health of the ocean, are now barren wastelands. The constant battles have destroyed the delicate coral structures, leaving behind only rubble and debris. The once colorful reefs, teeming with life, are now ghostly graveyards. The consequences of this ecological disaster are far-reaching, impacting not only marine life but also the millions of people who depend on the ocean for their livelihoods. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got some wild and potentially explosive news for you. So get this, in the latest twist of the ongoing crabfish war, crayfish and shrimp have issued bomb threats. Yeah, you heard me right, bomb threats. The situation is heating up, and it's all because these critters are seriously fearing for their lives. Now, to give you some context, the crabfish war has been a simmering conflict for a while now, with both the lobster crab team and the fish army going head-to-head in an all-out aquatic battle. It's been intense, and the stakes have never been higher. But here's the kicker. The crayfish and shrimp, who have largely stayed out of the fray, have had enough of the chaos. They're saying if you all don't stop fighting, we're gonna drop bombs. This is no joke, folks. Their citizens are living in constant fear, and they're desperate to protect their homes and families. I've been digging around for more information, but there aren't any current news articles covering this crayfish shrimp ultimatum. That doesn't mean it's not happening, just that it's flying under the radar for now. So what's next? Will the lobster crab team and the fish army heed this warning? Or are we on the brink of an underwater explosion? I'll keep you updated as this bizarre and tense situation unfolds. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates on the crabfish war. And as always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. The ocean floor, usually peaceful, not today. Today, war rages. On one side, crabs, powerful claws snapping, marching with their lobster allies. On the other, a vast army of fish, scales glinting in the dappled sunlight filtering through the water. The reason for the war? A misunderstanding over a particularly delicious patch of seaweed, of course. Battles raged. Coral reefs, once vibrant with life, were reduced to rubble. The fish, numerous and quick, darted through the water, flanking the crabs and lobsters. The crabs and lobsters, with their hard shells and powerful pincers, held their ground, creating a wall of chitin and fury. Every day, the fighting intensified. Every day, more creatures were lost. The once thriving ecosystem was collapsing. In the depths, two groups watched the carnage with growing alarm. The shrimp, small but numerous, and the crayfish, fierce warriors in their own right, had initially remained neutral. They saw the conflict as a pointless waste of life, and perhaps selfishly, they feared the destruction would soon engulf them as well. The shrimp, with their elders leading the way, decided to intervene. They swam to the front line, waving their tiny claws, begging for peace. The crayfish, led by their wise queen, approached the other side, their antennae twitching with concern. They proposed a truce, a sharing of resources. They appealed to the better nature of the warring factions. But their pleas fell on deaf ears. The crabs and lobsters, drunk on their perceived power, scoffed at the shrimp, dismissing them as insignificant specks. The fish, blinded by rage and fear, ignored the crayfish, seeing only enemies. The war continued, more brutal than ever. Seeing the devastation, the shrimp and crayfish held a summit. Despair filled the cavern where they met. Some argued for joining the fight, others for fleeing. The shrimp elders, their tiny faces etched with sorrow, spoke of an ancient and terrible weapon, a weapon of last resort. The crayfish queen, her normally stoic demeanor cracking, spoke of the agonizing choice they faced. And so, with heavy hearts, the shrimp and crayfish made their decision. If they could not achieve peace, they would ensure no one else could continue this senseless war. They gathered in a secluded grotto, a place where bioluminescent algae grew in abundance. This algae, usually harmless, could be weaponized. With a heavy heart, the crayfish queen gave the order. The shrimp detonated the algae. A blinding flash, a shockwave that rolled across the seabed, obliterating everything in its path. When the light faded and the dust settled, the once vibrant battlefield was silent. No creatures, large or small, moved. The shrimp and crayfish had unleashed a power they did not fully comprehend, a power that ended the war but left a scar on the ocean floor that would take generations to heal. The ocean was quiet. Too quiet. Gone were the schools of fish, darting between coral reefs. Gone were the playful dolphins and the grumpy groupers. Only silence remained. The once vibrant coral reefs were now bleached skeletons. Seaweed lay in tangled clumps like forgotten fishing nets. This was the aftermath. It started with a fight. Fish against crab, lobster against shrimp. A war that raged for years, tearing the ocean apart. Then came the shrimp and crayfish. Pushed to the edge, they unleashed a weapon of unimaginable power. A blinding flash, a mushroom cloud that reached from the ocean floor to the surface. The nuclear shrimp cocktail, they called it. Not many survived the blast. The lucky ones were deep, deep down in the abyss. The hermit crabs, tough and resilient in their borrowed shells, weathered the storm. And then there were the sharks. Kings and queens of the deep, they endured. Two species forever changed, left to inherit a silent world. Tension was high, resources were scarce. Every scrap of food, every decent hiding spot, was fought over. The incident at the sunken galleon changed everything. Hermit crabs, led by the fearless General Clippet, discovered a stash of algae wafers, a feast. But the sharks, led by the menacing Finnegan Razorteeth Jones, wanted the wafers too. A standoff ensued. Claws snapped, teeth flashed. War was brewing. Whispers of war traveled through the kelp forests and shipwrecks. The hermit crabs, smaller but numerous, practiced their pincer attacks. They sharpened coral shards into spears. The sharks, larger and faster, honed their teeth on rusty anchors. They were confident in their size and speed. Both sides prepared for the inevitable. Section 6. The First Strike. It was a dark and stormy night. Lightning flashed, illuminating the ocean floor. The sharks struck first, a swift and brutal attack on a hermit crab scouting party. General Clippet, his shell scarred but his spirit unbroken, declared war. They chose this fight, he declared, brandishing his coral spear. We will finish it. Section 7. Operation Shell Shock. The hermit crabs, masters of defense, launched Operation Shell Shock. They used their small size and agility to their advantage. They hid in shipwrecks, ambushing shark patrols. They even disguised themselves as sea urchins, their pincers poised to strike. The sharks, used to easy victories, were caught off guard. Section 8. Jaws of Revenge. Finnegan Razorteeth. Jones, enraged by the hermit crab's defiance, ordered a counterattack. Jaws of Revenge, he called it. The sharks used their superior speed to outmaneuver the hermit crabs. They rammed their powerful bodies against coral formations, crushing the defenders. The ocean floor ran red. The war was far from over. Section 9. A Glimmer of Hope. As the war raged on, a strange thing happened. A young shark, Finnegan's own son, befriended a hermit crab. They shared stories and dreams. They realized that, deep down, they weren't so different. Could their friendship be the key to ending the war, or was it too late for peace? The fate of the ocean hung in the balance.